As a big fan of the original Strymon BigSky hardware effects pedal, I couldn't resist the temptation of trying out their plug-in version of the BigSky. And here we are inside the DAW. I'm using Cubase. I've muted all the reverbs here, so let's check it out for the first couple of bars. Okay, so we had a pretty dry soundscape here. I did have a little bit of BigSky on the orchestra hits and tom fills there, but let's enable all the BigSkys here. I also have a little bit of delay going here from inside the stock plugins in Cubase, but all the reverbs are the BigSky. So let's start the track again and hear the difference. The song I'm working on in this video is available online. Please check the video description. So on the first here, I'm using some BigSky. And that is the plate. So I'm using no pre-delay. I want the reverb to strike immediately. But that could be a nice effect, and maybe in the final mix I'd go back to having some pre-delay on here to get that sense of space around the dry initial attack of the sound, waiting for the reverb to kick in. It's always a mix and match as you work on the track in a production like this. So that's the plate algo from BigSky on my vocal sample, and you heard that famous Fairlight sample as well. And that's also coming from that same plate algo, the first instance of BigSky here. And on the guitar part, well, I'm using two BigSkys on that one in addition to the delay. So let's solo that and start that from the beginning. So here I'm using a little bit of the chorale effect from BigSky. And I'm not mixing it very hard, but let's check it out. That's a lovely effect. I didn't want it to overwhelm the rest of the arrangement, so I dialed it back a little. But the chorale effect, the algo here, is one of my absolute favorites from BigSky, and I used it a lot in the past on the hardware. Sounds similar here. Fantastic. Also using a bit of hall here with some pre-delay. Could have used a little bit of shimmer. I like that as well. Very nice and very, it sounds very BigSky if you've ever used the hardware version. Ultimately went for the whole reverb because it suited the track better. I'll dial that a little bit back. So that's the PPG guitar. But I also have something going on the drums here. And first of all, on the orchestra hit. And for that, I used a non-linear reverb to emulate that sort of classic 80s gated feel of reverbs. And when you choose a nonlinear algo here, you get the options of different shapes to shape the ending of that sound. What I like the most, perhaps, in addition to gate, is reverse. That can be useful, and I use that on the toms, I think. Let's find those. Let's dial that back. And let's check out the tom fills. You can hear them early on. You could hear it right there. And here I'm going for the reverse, as you see, in the non-linear algo. Let's check that out again. So if I dial up the mix here, I can really sync it to the rhythm, the BPM of the track. But again, I think it just overpowers the whole arrangement by going too far. So I've dialed that back, but it's definitely a cool trick. So let's go back a little. So that's better, in my opinion, anyway. So I've set up both the orchestra hit and the toms as insert effects, and there's no hard rules here. I could have used send effects as well, but sometimes I really like to have effects set up in the insert as inserts in the chain for whatever reason, just old habits, I guess. Mix and match. Do whatever sounds good. If it sounds good, it's good. I also have a little bit of chorale on the snap. On the clap, I have a little bit of the whole. On the crash, I have a little bit of the whole. So let's solo the drums in isolation here. And one of the tracks, the snare track, that has nothing on it. I tried to have a little bit of whole reverb on there, but I found that together with the bass and everything else, the track sounded the best when I didn't have anything on the snare. I left that completely dry, and sometimes less is more. I really think the snare drum sounded better with nothing on it. It sort of cut through better, and it didn't make everything mushy as it did with some hole on it. So I might have gone for a room, maybe that would have worked, but I think it sounds great with nothing on it really. So sometimes nothing is the right thing. And at the end of the song, I close it off with a little bit of an ARP going. And I've tossed and turned over should I have reverb on this or not. But I think the whole algo worked very well on this one. So let's check it out. So I might adjust that to get a nice fit for the song. And so together with Valhalla VintageVerb, this Strymon BigSky has now entered my top list of go-to reverb plugins, and I hope you like this little demo of how I use it. And as always, I'm Espen Kraft. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!